Now, I got to imagine that if you're running a business, you want to have some idea of how much money you're going to have in the future.
Of course.
Right. Just like checking the weather before you go on a trip.
Absolutely.
So how do businesses even try to predict their future cash flow?
That is a great question, and it's where forecasting comes in. Forecasting cash flows. It's like planning that road trip you were talking about.
Okay.
You need to know where you're going and how much gas money you're going to need.
All right. I like that analogy.
Yeah. So let's stick with that.
Okay.
You're planning a road trip with your friends.
Road trip.
First things first, gotta decide where you're going, right?
Right.
Businesses do the same thing. They set goals. They make plans for the future.
Okay. And before you hit the road, you got to figure out how much gas you'll need.
Exactly. Based on the distance, gas prices, all that.
Right.
Businesses do something similar. They create something called a cash budget,
Okay.
which is basically a prediction of their cash inflows and outflows for, a specific period, like a month or a year.
Oh, so it's like a financial roadmap.
Exactly. It helps them see how much money they expect to make and how much they expect to spend.
That sounds really useful.
It is. But of course, predicting the future is never perfect, right?
Right.
Like, what if you plan your road trip perfectly, but then there's a detour, or
Yeah.
you get a flat tire?
Oh, no.
Right. It throws everything off.
Yeah.
Same thing can happen with businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Unexpected events, like a sudden change in customer demand, or maybe like a big economic shift.
Yeah, things you can't really plan for.
Exactly. And those things can really mess with their cash flow predictions.
So what can they do about that? Like if they run into one of those unexpected bumps in the road?
Well, they've got a few options.
Okay.
If they think they're going to be short on cash, they could try to borrow some money, maybe from a bank,
Okay.
or ask their suppliers for more time to pay their bills.
So kind of like asking a friend for a little help.
Yeah, exactly. And if they're expecting a surplus, meaning they'll have more cash than they need, they might decide to invest that extra money.
Okay, so they can use that extra cash to potentially make even more money.
Exactly. Put it to work for them.
Now, I remember at the beginning we talked about these three, what were they called? Like golden rules of cash management or something?
Yeah. Profitability, liquidity, and safety.
Right. Those were the words.
The big three. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've talked about the cash flow part, but can we dive into those a bit more?
Absolutely. And we'll do that right after this quick break.
Stay tuned.